Live now here. All right. I believe we are live now on YouTube and Instagram. So we should be good to go. Okay, welcome everybody. I'm just going to get comfortable here. This is the most odd technical setup. We've tried to attempt doing this.
Doing things at home live is a little different than doing it at the studio. So
absolutely. Okay, so to kick this thing off, just so everybody is kind of aware what we're going to do here, we're essentially going to do just a really quick, couple-minute intro here, get into the meditation, and then we'll have a couple words to share afterwards. In this particular meditation, it's going to be, your standard sort of meditation. Ruby's going to run the majority of it. I'll come in with a couple of words. So if you hear the voice change at some point, we're still in the meditation. It'll still reflect that. So just if you notice that, just allow it to continue on. And then you'll know when it's over because Ruby will guide you out of it. So again, just to prep this a little bit, why we decided to do this is because, with this whole coronavirus situation, with what's going on globally, it presents an opportunity. And when you're presented with an opportunity that allows you to, you can look at this in multiple ways. In some ways, people are feeling like, oh my gosh, the global control that's going on, the amount of stuff that's happening, it's really giving an opportunity for people in positions of power to take away freedoms and take away liberties. Sure, that's one side of it. The other side of it is that it prevents the presents to the collective an opportunity to shift the way we see our world, the way we act within our world, and shift our consciousness in a way that allows us to ask the question, do we want life to go back to quote unquote normal? And of course, anytime you're asking that question, here as we have the opportunity to make a shift and do something different collectively, and to give you an example, look at what's happened so far with the coronavirus. Humanity has been united under a single cause, so to speak, and look how fast changes come into place. Look how many things come into being in just a matter of a week or even sometimes less because we're all focused on the same thing. For example, they decided, hey, we need more ventilators. Let's get everybody focused on building ventilators. Boom, you have all these ventilators built, right? So the point is that humanity in numbers under a unified perspective can do incredible things very, very quickly. Now, the question here is in why we're going to go into this unity, oneness consciousness meditation, and why we're going to do this is because what happens if we now apply this same understanding that we're seeing in our physical world into creating a new world as we move forward, as we come out of this coronavirus lockdown, as it's being called? How can we perhaps not go back to normal life, or at least ask something different out of normal life? So that's kind of a little bit of the precursor. We'll talk about this a little bit more afterwards because I want to respect everybody's time. I know some people are working or got stuff going on. So we'll do the meditation. We'll talk about this stuff a little bit more afterwards. But for now, let's get into it. For those of you on the CE network who are not, 100% sure of who Dulce Ruby is, she's been an international meditation guide for a number of years. I'm sure she can introduce her story just a little bit better in a second here, but she's got a lot of experience guiding meditations, a great energy, a great voice in getting into this. So this is why we've, chosen her to go through and do this particular meditation. Why don't you introduce just a little bit about your journey in meditation, and then we'll dive right into it within a minute or two here.
Okay, so just to keep it kind of simple, I've had a life journey with meditation, in and out of flowing, but the past few years prior to moving to Canada, I actually led a world peace tour. And so basically what I did was I partnered up with my mentor from Thailand, the Dhammakaya temple, which is where I studied and resided in and led fellowships at. His name is Nolpi Pasura, and he is a Buddhist monk from Thailand. And I basically traveled the world with him and led meditations for world peace. We started with the States, then I went off to Budapest and gave a speech at the European Peace Summit. Then I did some events with Richard Branson, British Polo Day kind of stuff. And from there, I've kind of taken my lifelong practice and integrated it with what I learned from Thailand, and kind of been sharing the message ever since. Kind of my purpose is to activate and awaken people and remind them of who they truly are, regardless of circumstance, which is kind of why we're here today. So anyway, if that's enough,
yeah.
I could get on. Also, just as a forewarning, I guess, for people who would be interested or to know, we are actually social distancing. We live together.
Yep.
We're partners. So just letting you know.
This is legal.
Yeah, just wanted to throw that out there because I know some people would be like, oh no.
There's not 6 feet here.
No, not needed. But anywho, so thank you all so much for joining. If you're ready for the meditation, I would love to start getting into that. So please, if you haven't already adjusted yourself or found a peaceful environment that you can sit comfortably in and kind of be free of distractions, please do so now. And if you are there, I'll give you, or if you aren't there, I'll give you a few moments to get there. So, you know, find a space that you can sit comfortably at. You don't have to be super straight or super like legs crossed and things. Sit somewhere or lay somewhere where you feel that you can stay awake, be able to reflect, but also be comfortable enough where you won't be distracted by your body or your thoughts or whatever may come. So, all right. And now if you are ready, gently, slowly close your eyes. Taking one deep breath in and out. And repeat that at whatever pace is good for you. In and out. And as you take these breaths, wherever you are in this world, however you may be feeling, know that you are not alone. Guided by my voice and accompanied by all the souls who are here today, joining us in this global meditation for oneness consciousness, you are a part of this oneness. Now, more than ever, we are in unison, together, united by this very rare and beautiful time to go inward. Remember to be breathing in deep, in and out. Slowly steady your breath. Ease your mind. And as the thoughts roll in, do not force them out, but simply allow them to be. Allow them to play through and become the observer. There is so much on our plates at this time, but see this as a blessing, a collective pause so that we may look inward, reflect, expand, heal, breathe, and release, all of which has been creating stagnant energy to our frequency, not allowing us to flow as we were born to do, and halting us from reaching our dreams due to mass media, interruptions, intentions. As you slowly breathe in and out, allow the light within the core of your being to emanate. Allow this light to expand up through your abdomen, down to your legs, up towards your chest, up to your shoulders, into your head, and all the way back down to your toes. Allow the weight of your shoulders to be lifted. Recognize this weightless energy filling your being as the light emanates through and out of you. Breathing in slowly, gently, deeply, in through your nose and out through your mouth. Remember that you are a beautiful soul living out this wild human experience. You have been chosen, and you yourself have chosen to appear, to volunteer, and to exist at this very point in time. We, you, have the power to create the world we wish to live and exist within. Visualize, set the purest of intentions, create and manifest your dream reality. Breathing in deeply, in and out. Know that it is our time to release all program, trauma, and learn all of the lessons that we have been gained through them. May we put them into action through our healing, through our reflection, through this pause of universal collective consciousness. Do not feel rushed nor pressured to create everything you wish at this one moment. Simply know that this is a gate, this is a portal, this is an opportunity for us all to awaken into the dream that we wish to create, laying out the foundation, the guidelines, and removing all rules for creation, manifesting whatever it is that we wish to create, one by one, collectively, knowing that your role is unique and necessary and openly received. Allowing this light to emanate through you and radiating out into the world. Shine that light on your loved ones, your family, your friends, knowing that though you are not with them in the physicality, that you can still send them your love, your energy, your intentions from a distance. Remembering to breathe in deeply, slowly, and fully. In and out. Now expanding our consciousness and further emitting our light. Think of those in your neighborhood or your community. Expand that light beyond your inner circle and that into your neighborhood, your community, your city, and then your state. Taking an even deeper breath in and out. As you expand your lungs and deepen your breath, may the light grow and expand in reflection. May that light now radiate beyond your state, city, community, neighborhood, family, friends, and yourself, and shoot back out inward into the outer world of your country, our globe, our planet. May it reach all of those who are being affected by this pandemic, whether it is personally within the virus or financially through a loss of work, or simply an anxiety of being kept locked up in your homes. Know that we are all playing our roles in collectively breathing in deep, in and out, clearing that anxiety and opening doors to new opportunities to welcome in a new form of finance, of exchange, healing those who are in hospital rooms with our collective intention, sending love beyond our planet, breathing in deep in and out, out into the galaxy, to our galactic family, into the universe, out into the skies, beyond what we know, and allowing that energy, that purity, that love, that vast open space to pour into us. May the mystery of the unknown heal, transform, and expand our consciousness at this uncertain time, knowing that everything plays a divine role in our unfolding. Breathing in deep in and out. Know that you are loved and that you are love. The energy, the light that you hold for yourself and for others is being reflected out from others back onto you. Breathing in deep in and out. May the peace fill your being, and may the love radiate out of you and back into you to heal, transform, remind, and awaken you to the very magic that you are and that we are experiencing.
And as you continue to breathe, going to move into a space within ourselves that we may be forgetting at this time is there. So what I want you to do is pay attention to the area around where your physical heart would be. Simply drawing your attention to it. Perhaps you feel a tingle, a warmth, or just a sense of energy in the area. And with your attention there, draw upon a memory you have where you felt completely free, where you were doing something you absolutely loved. Perhaps it was a moment of joy. Perhaps it was doing a task you absolutely love, engaging in a hobby. Perhaps it was a life experience that brought you complete and utter joy, where you didn't think about anything other than being in the moment of that experience. Many times it can feel like a memory from when we were a child, where it felt as though we had no care in the world, other than what we are experiencing in that moment of pure joy, pure presence. As you call upon this memory, really begin to relive it as best you can. See your surroundings while you are in this moment. Watch as the events played through. Feel the emotions or the feelings that were arising within you. What does the expression on your face look like? What is the expression on others if they were around? As you draw upon this memory, allow it to play through multiple times. Allow yourself to relive the feelings. Allow that energy to well up in the area around your heart. Allow it to expand throughout your chest. Allow it to expand throughout your body. Begin to recognize that this feeling is always here and that nothing needs to happen for us to actually experience this. This is of our natural state. It is connected through all space-time. It is who we truly are. And as we begin to expand this feeling outside of our bodies, I want you to imagine it connecting to every single person involved in this meditation right now. A simple intention of seeing it expand throughout and touching many, many, many other souls will do. As all these energies come together, imagine a giant ball of light coming together. A light that is a feeling of pure love, pure potential, pure freedom, pure presence, and pure oneness. And as this energy comes together, allow it to encapsulate the earth. Even if other souls not participating in this meditation are unaware of what's happening on the conscious mind, we are connecting at a deeper space as we are all one and we are all truly connected. This, of course, goes beyond this planet and the humans that are on this planet, but also extends out into the universe to all other planets and beings that exist. As beyond the story of separation, there is oneness. And we are all connected to everything that is at all times. It is through this knowing and this feeling that we begin to change the human story, the human paradigm that has created the world that we see today. A world where a mere economic shutdown can hold back the basic necessities to millions of people around the world. That is, of course, beyond the billions who already don't have the basic necessities every day. Do we wish to continue to live in a world that operates this way? A story of separation and disconnection that puts us against one another, that separates us by race, color of skin, ethnicity, what country or city we are part of. As we experience this beautiful state of being of oneness, does that state of consciousness of separation feel natural to us? Or does it feel programmed? It is through these feelings and realizations that we recognize that the way forward for humanity at this time is not to get caught up in all of the material programmings of this story of separation, but instead to connect to oneness consciousness and realize who we truly are. You're feeling it right now. That realization, that state of consciousness, begins to inform a new way of living and creating. It changes the way we create policy, per se, around how we treat the earth, how we treat each other, how we treat resources. It no longer comes from the primitive mind of separation, ethnicity, disconnection, race, country, pride, and patriotism. It instead comes from a deeper space within ourselves that recognizes the true essence of who we truly are. At our core, an infinite field of consciousness that is connected to everything on this planet and off this planet. It is not even about simply making it about Earth. It's about connecting to everything that is and realizing that is our true nature. How would this true nature create? Out of harmony or out of destruction? If this true nature were creating our world to function, how would it create systems that provided food and shelter to people? How would it organize to create the necessary infrastructures that align with harmony and oneness? When you begin to take a step back and allow all of the aspects of our world today to fall away just for a moment, what world does this state of being wish to create? What does it look like? Allow yourself to see it, to envision it, to feel it. Any temptation that the mind or ego may present that tries to tell you this is not possible, simply allow it to go away. Allow it to fly by. That is nothing more than a limited state of being that we've been chosen, or that we've been convinced to believe. And this is the largest aspect of the awakening that is taking place at this moment. The realization that what we've been convinced to believe about who we are, about why we are here, is nothing more than a programmed reality, stopping us from connecting to our true essence. Because in our true essence, There is no need for belief systems, the choice and the fight over morality and ethics, because we are already connected in a state of oneness, in a state of love. And it is in that we can create our world anew. So before we begin to come out of this meditation, I want you to remember that you can take this state of being, this knowing, this remembering of the oneness that you truly are, and live that state of being in your everyday life. How would oneness create? How would oneness and harmony treat each other? The more we begin to embody this state of being in our everyday lives, the more we begin to effectively create from that state of being. Are the choices you make, are the decisions you make, are the systems you participate in of the old world, or of this new and emerging world from a state of oneness consciousness? That can be a question you ask yourself as you move through your everyday life.
Breathing in deep in and out. As you ask yourself these questions, remember that each moment that you live in the presence, you awaken this part of you, this state of being, of limitless potentiality, of awareness, knowing that you are all that exists. Breathing in and out. Slowly bring your awareness back to the space, back to the room, back to yourself. Listen to your surroundings. With your mind still, know that we are just here to remind you to remember that you are an incredible being of oneness consciousness. And now that you are back in your room, back in your space, back within yourself, it's time to wake up. Open your eyes. And just keep remembering to breathe in and out, gently, slowly, and deeply throughout your day. And trying to bring your attention back into that every single moment that you can, so that you can kind of live in a present state of meditation consistently. And as Joe mentioned, kind of keep that question in mind of what kind of world do you wish to live in. So
That's all. So for those that have to get to other things,
we went a little over, sorry.
the meditation aspect of this is over. Of course, this is going to be available on YouTube, so you guys can listen to this anytime. There are a few things that I still did want to share and talk about, maybe just for about 5 minutes or so. Or
also, just before anybody does go, would you want to do this like weekly, bi-weekly, so people kind of let us know in the comments if you guys would like to see this a little bit more often, and maybe we can kind of cut it down to 15 minutes instead of 30. It was, we were kind of just testing. We had an idea last night for the full moon, and we're like, hey, let's just do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, so in essence, part of the reason why this meditation was formed the way it was, and the way some of the questions and the flow went, is because the work that we've been doing with Collective Evolution is really about taking the spiritual aspect, the word spiritual even has a geez, it has like a
commercialized
connotation to it
yeah.
that is just so difficult. But when you take that aspect of who we truly are, as well as the information, the understanding of what's going on in our physical world, and you bring them together, you begin to recognize that to make this consciousness stuff that we talk about, that we meditate on, that we feel, to make that something that's real, that informs our physical world, that informs our reality, we have to know how to actually apply it to our world. It's one thing to meditate and to have this feeling, then to come out of it and kind of go on with your day and not really know what it means for how do I partake in politics? Do I vote for things? Do I, just live about the systems that I am, waiting for them to change? The physical aspect of our world is informed and created by our consciousness. And what that means is, what are the thought processes? What are the belief systems, the level of consciousness that is behind who we think we are and how we are supposed to act in this world? And the reason why we bring ourselves in the meditation to the state of oneness consciousness and feel that is for the purposes of allowing us to recognize who we truly are, so that there's a reference point for when, let's say, we're not tapped into that state of being that's always there in our everyday life, and we're just kind of walking through it, and we're going, oh, well, I just believe that I am this, meat suit material being walking around, and, Trump's over there, and, politics is over there, and I'm a Democrat, or I'm a Republican, or I'm this, and I'm getting all caught up in all the mumbo jumbo that goes on in our material world. And we forget that that's who we truly are at our core. And what this is about bringing that into our everyday waking life, because it is always there. We just become aware of it. We become conscious of it. This is what expansion of consciousness is. It's expanding from a state of consciousness and state of thinking where we're walking about as a, being that thinks that, I'm this, I'm the color of my skin, I'm my ethnicity, I'm where I'm from, I'm the job that I have, yeah. I'm my religion, it brings us out of that primitive state of consciousness into this expanded state of consciousness that allows us to see ourselves and our world and each other as completely different. And when we do that, you begin to create differently, right? We begin to actually go about shifting things in our world from a completely different state of being. And when you understand through exploring various aspects of the science of consciousness, quantum physics, and so forth, you begin to understand too that, there's this idea that we create our own reality, as individuals, which is true and not true in a sense. And the nuance there is that, we're co-creating our reality here on this planet, right? We came here to have an experience with, at the moment on this planet, about 7 billion other souls, to co-create a reality to collectively experience, right? And so what we're going through is, yes, as an individual, we are uploading our consciousness, our experience to the collective. But at the same time, it's not as though, well, I'm just going to create my own reality and have whatever I want and have the abundance and have this and have the cars and have the money and have blah, blah, blah. When we're in that state of what do I want to create just in my life, we forget that we're part of the collective. We forget that even if we went and lived on a beautiful island with beautiful cars, a beautiful house, and lived our own individual life of abundance, we're still a part of this collective that is engaging in a state of being and a state of consciousness that's built on disconnection, that's built on destruction, that's built on separation. And that world that you share is still moving towards, and I'm not saying this is going to happen because I don't feel this in my heart, but it's reflecting a world that is falling apart, that is being destroyed. Our air, our water, our land, and so forth.
Our beings, our health, our vitality, everything, right?
Everything.
Wait, and just real quick. Some people, so sorry, just to cut you off. Some people were saying that there was a lot of cutting up or off while we were doing the meditation. Are you guys still experiencing this? Sorry, my eyes were obviously closed while we were deleting the meditation, so I'm not sure. Let us know so that way we know if we need to up
fix
our stuff for next time. So just let me know. Sorry, go ahead.
But yeah, so what this is about is moving from, and again, this is why we move through the process of recognizing who we truly are. Because as we recognize who we truly are, we recognize we're part of a whole. and that this isn't about presenting solutions that come from individual, this is my individual path that I want to take, and this is my individual, and this country should do this, and this country over here should do that. It's about looking at it and going, we're inherently connected to everything. So if we can recognize that and understand we're inherently connected to everything, well, then now we create based on that state of being, that state of experience. And so when we say, we have to shift consciousness first, or I shouldn't say first, but as we are shifting our physical world, actually making different decisions in our physical world, what that's about is seeing the world through a different lens, seeing the world through what is a completely different state of consciousness, as opposed to believing, well, we have to just keep doing what we've been doing, and hopefully a new leader will come along that will, instill the policies and do the things that we need to do to save us all from destruction.
Exactly. As opposed to doing it ourselves.
Right. And that's what this journey is about, humanity and really coming together here and shifting our consciousness and breaking away from a lot of the old patterns, a lot of the old ways of doing things. And that's, of course, a thing where, I'll put it simply, none of the challenges that we face on this planet right now, whether you're talking about energy, food, shelter, anything, the technical solutions are insanely simple, and they're already readily available. There's not a single thing we cannot solve right now, here, today.
Yeah.
The reason why it's not solved, if you want to look at it that way, right, not to get into a state of judgment about it, but to realize it's not solved, is simply because we've set up all of these systems and infrastructures that we hold on to, that we believe is our reality, that actually holds back the ability for us to solve this, right? An economic system, right? The way our economic system functions is, if I have an incredible product that could provide energy to every single person on this world, well, I can't bring it about, because if it's not profitable, or if it disrupts too much of the economy, well, then we can't do it, right? So here you have, say, a free energy product, right, which I've seen with my own eyes before. And you bring that about, people go, oh, well, that destroys the petrol industry, it destroys all the diesel industry, it destroys the renewable energy industry, all those jobs are going to be lost. And you go, yeah, sure, that might happen. Because we live in an infrastructure that's designed for scarcity, that's designed for separation, that's designed for us to pit against each other and economically have to fight to have our basic needs. So you have to ask yourself the question, is putting our commitment, our heart, and our mind into the idea of maintaining this structure allowing humanity to thrive, or is it slowing down our ability to actually live a world where we can not only thrive, but have access to all of the incredible creations that humans all over the world are attempting to create, but cannot create, or I should say this more clearly, but that cannot bring forth because there's a limitation there, right? And where consciousness plays into it is when we every day believe that the way forward is to just, create a cryptocurrency, or, just go back to the gold standard, or just, whatever it might be, just do these sorts of things. We're still setting up from that disconnected state of consciousness all of these ideas that we've learned from the disconnected state of consciousness, which is that, well, you can't bring forward technology unless there's an economy. You can't provide stuff to people unless there's, a way of doing it. We can't come together and work together to do something because
social distancing, first of all.
Sure, because
we can't come together.
Right, because if we do those things, then what are we? We're living in socialism, communism, right? These are the ideas that move through our minds. Anytime you think of something,
the labels that are given.
Right. Anytime you think of something where people are going to come together and shift the way we see stuff and begin acting from here, we have all these excuses as to why it can't happen. And all those excuses are designed to maintain the system at hand, to keep things as they are today. And so moving into these states of consciousness allows you to ask the question, wait, when I just went through that exercise and I felt that with my eyes closed on this couch thinking about, I go, wait, I felt that. Why are we not doing this? What's going on here? Why is it that I have this within me, but then I'm expected, so to speak, and I say the expectation as a societal pressure, you could say, which we don't have to play into, but it is there. The societal pressure states, oh, well, I gotta go hustle. And I gotta go make the money, and I gotta just live the way it is. Now, I'm not saying that
struggle to get by. Yeah.
Right. I'm not saying that we currently could just stop using money today and la-di-da-da-da. What I'm saying is we haven't set up a reference point yet of what we wish to create. And that reference point will come from how we feel within when we get to these states of consciousness and start visualizing our world and start creating it that way. And the more we change the conversation like what we're having now, and instead of just conversing, oh, well, you know, what political policy should we get behind right now that's based on a world of destruction and separation and disconnection, instead of stopping the conversation there, we say, hold on, we have the ability to rewrite our entire experience here. You know, the coronavirus lockdown gave us an opportunity to see the measures being suggested and presented that pushes people into a totalitarian state, right? It allows us to see that. It gives us the opportunity to say, whoa, do we want to go in that direction? Do we want to agree to this? Who's really behind the scenes here? What are their intentions for our world? Why are we agreeing to this? Why are we playing, right? So it becomes this massive mirror that's saying, hey guys, this is what it looks like if we keep doing what we're doing, right? And it's so obvious and it's so clear that we can see it, which is beautiful. And then we have the other side to it where we go, okay, well, we don't want to go there. So where do we want to go?
And that's the question.
And that's the question
today.
And that's what the conversations are about, is where do we want to go? That's it. That's all. That's what we do at sea. That's what it's about.
That's what we're about. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys all so much for tuning in. I know some of you have already left. Some of you guys got to go. So I think we'll get on with our day as well. Thank you all so much again for being here, for being a part of this journey, as well as this meditation. And hopefully we'll do this again soon, depending on what you guys think. So,
absolutely.
All right. Bye, guys.
Thanks again for tuning in, for being part of this. You know, it really brings the collective together. That's it. That's all. Take care. Peace.
Bye, guys. I don't know how to close this down.
Nope.